A live broadcast turned into a political earthquake when Donald Trump delivered sharp criticism of Keir Starmer, sending shockwaves through both Washington and London. What started as a routine interview quickly became a moment that could reshape the political conversation on both sides of the Atlantic. In a televised appearance that quickly went viral, President Trump openly questioned the leadership and decisions of UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Speaking in blunt terms, Trump said he was disappointed with how Britain has handled recent international tensions, especially its response to security and defense cooperation with the United States. He argued that strong allies must act faster and more decisively during moments of crisis, and suggested that hesitation from London sends the wrong message to both friends and rivals. Trump focused on what he described as missed opportunities for closer coordination between the two countries. He claimed that the United States had expected clearer support from the UK in recent diplomatic and military planning, but instead saw delays and mixed signals. According to Trump, this lack of urgency weakens the image of unity that Western nations try to project during global conflicts. He said leadership requires clear choices, not careful excuses, a line that instantly drew attention from political commentators. The comments triggered immediate reaction in the UK. Supporters of Starmer defended the Prime Minister's cautious approach, saying Britain must balance its alliance with the US while also protecting its own national interests. They argued that rushing into decisions on defense or foreign policy could lead to long-term consequences and that diplomacy should come before confrontation. Critics, however, echoed Trump's words, accusing Starmer of appearing uncertain on the world stage and failing to show strong leadership during a tense international moment. Analysts say this clash highlights deeper differences in style and strategy between the two leaders. Trump is known for direct and confrontational language, while Starmer has built his image around careful planning and legal precision. This contrast became especially visible during the broadcast, where Trump's tone was firm and emotional, while UK officials later responded in more measured statements. Some experts believe this difference could strain future talks between Washington and London if not handled carefully. Social media amplified the drama within minutes. Clips of Trump's remarks spread rapidly, with hashtags related to both leaders trending in several countries. Supporters praised Trump for saying what others won't, while opponents accused him of stirring unnecessary conflict between allies. In the UK, the debate quickly shifted from foreign policy to leadership strength, with many asking whether Starmer's approach makes Britain look cautious or simply responsible. Official responses remained controlled. Downing Street released a short statement emphasizing the importance of the UK-US alliance and noting that discussions with American partners continue behind closed doors. No direct personal reply to Trump's criticism was issued at first, suggesting an effort to calm tensions rather than escalate them publicly. Meanwhile, US officials tried to downplay the remarks, calling them opinions expressed in an interview rather than a change in formal policy. Still, the political impact is hard to ignore. Public confrontations between leaders of close allies are rare, and when they happen, they often shape headlines for days. For Trump, the moment reinforced his image as a leader who speaks without filters. For Starmer, it created fresh pressure at home to show that Britain remains confident and influential in global affairs. As this story develops, the key question is whether this exchange will remain just a heated moment on television or turn into a deeper diplomatic issue. What is clear is that a single broadcast has reopened old debates about leadership, loyalty, and the future direction of the UK-US relationship. And for viewers watching around the world, it was a reminder that in politics, one statement can change the tone of an entire conversation. The fallout from President Trump's remarks is now spreading beyond the television studio and into political strategy rooms in both countries. In Britain, members of parliament from opposing parties seized on the comments to support their own narratives. Some lawmakers argued that Trump's criticism proves the UK is losing influence on the global stage, while others warned that taking advice from an outspoken American leader could drag Britain into unnecessary confrontations. This split shows how sensitive foreign policy has become at home, especially when it is judged by voices outside the country. For Prime Minister Keir Starmer, the challenge is not just diplomatic, but political. He must convince voters that his approach protects British interests without appearing weak to international partners. His supporters say calm leadership is needed in dangerous times, not dramatic speeches. They point out that modern conflicts require careful coordination with allies, legal review, and public accountability. Critics, however, argue that caution can look like indecision, especially when global events demand quick action. On the American side, Trump's comments fit into his long-standing message about strength and loyalty between allies. Donald Trump has often said that partnerships should be practical, not symbolic. In his view, allies must share risks as well as benefits. Supporters believe this approach forces other countries to take security commitments more seriously. Opponents argue that such public pressure damages trust and turns private disagreements into public spectacles. Experts in international relations say this moment reflects a deeper issue in Western alliances: how to respond to crises without appearing divided. Public arguments between leaders can send confusing signals to rivals who may see disagreement as weakness. At the same time, domestic audiences want leaders who appear confident and decisive. This creates a difficult balance, where every word spoken on camera can influence not only public opinion, but diplomatic relationships. Media coverage has also shaped how this clash is understood. Headlines focused on strong language and sharp phrases, often turning complex policy disagreements into simple personal conflict. This makes the story more dramatic, but it also risks hiding the real issues beneath the surface, such as military cooperation, intelligence sharing, and long-term strategy in unstable regions. Viewers are left with a picture of two leaders in conflict, rather than two governments trying to manage the same global risks in different ways. Behind the scenes, officials from both countries are expected to continue talks as normal. Diplomacy rarely stops because of one interview. Still, trust can be affected when criticism becomes public. Future meetings between British and American representatives may now carry extra tension, as both sides try to show unity while remembering the words spoken on air. The next steps will likely involve quiet reassurance, emphasizing shared values and mutual defense commitments. For the public, this episode has become a test of leadership styles. Some admire Trump's blunt approach, seeing it as honest and fearless. Others prefer Starmer's careful tone, believing stability matters more than strong words. This difference reflects a wider debate in modern politics. Should leaders be loud and forceful, or calm and calculated? The answer often depends on who is watching and what they fear most. As pressure builds, Starmer's government may feel the need to restate its position clearly, explaining why certain choices were made and what Britain's role will be in future international actions. Transparency could help ease criticism at home, while firm but respectful communication with Washington could reduce diplomatic damage. The coming days may show whether this moment becomes a short-lived media storm or a lasting mark on relations between two historic allies. One thing is certain: this exchange has pushed foreign policy back into the spotlight. It has reminded audiences that alliances are not just agreements on paper, but relationships shaped by personalities, timing, and public trust. A single broadcast has turned into a global talking point, forcing both leaders to defend not only their policies, but their image as decision-makers in an uncertain world.